Great job again. Welcome to our 5th Football Friday already, and we've got a very busy show ahead. I'm Mark Ovenden. He's Zach Bourne.
Tonight's show and every Football Friday is brought to you by RepairableVehicles.com. We've got highlights from 10 games tonight, and we start with OGorman's homecoming against their rival Lincoln at McEnany Field. Believe it or not, Lincoln's actually played more at the MAC this year than OGorman. This is OGorman's first game there. Lincoln had that one. They finished. How about that connection? Isaac Struck to Kenyon Bauer, drops the ball.
Got it right back.
Yeah, got it right back at the end of the first quarter. That sets up Evan Witry at the start of the second as OGorman takes a 14
How do you like the unis?
lead.
I like those.
And by the way, there's another thing I like to see too. Aaron Beavers, the former Lincoln coach, an assistant in OGorman. Maybe he helped draw this up. Like those uniforms, it's Witry on a 45-yard touchdown. I like how shiny the decals are too, by the way, on the helmets. Strike up the band because it's 20-0 at half, and then in the third quarter, it's Struck to Bauer. Watch him do the toe tap right in the end zone for a touchdown. Big win for OGorman, 47-7.
Out to Howard Wood Field, third-ranked Roosevelt taking on Yankton. Another early start at 6 o'clock. Another road game for the Bucks. They fell behind early. Brady Dannenbring with a short touchdown, 7-0 Riders. Later in the first quarter, Carter Lohr comes in at quarterback.
The wrestler.
He hits Nathan Varnes in dead stride. 80 yards later, it's 13-0. But how's this for a highlight play? Watch this for Yankton. I think this might be the best play of the night. Garrett Tennant throws to Rex Ryken. One-handed catch, and he stays in bounds. He keeps those toes inside the white line, goes all the way, 69 yards for a touchdown. Kim Nelson not happy. It's 13-10 at halftime in favor of Roosevelt. But in the third quarter, Lohr goes to Nick Hoekstra. Remember the grand slam he hit in the region championship baseball game. 43-yard touchdown there, 20-10. And then Dannenbring comes in at quarterback. They're going back and forth with QBs.
Seems to work.
We had to pay attention to who it was. That's Varnes again, 34-17 Roosevelt.
Fourth-ranked team in 11 AAA, the Brandon Valley Lynx, home tonight against Rapid City Central, a team that's been a bit of a surprise in the early season. Opening drive, 4th and 2, Braden Peterson. That's who you give it to. You give it to the workhorse on the goal line. He makes it 7-0. Now the Cobblers rallied to tie the game against Chad Garrow's team. And on the next play after the Cobbler touchdown, it's Thomas Skolton to Cole Siegfried.
In your living room.
75 yards to the house. It's 14-7, Brandon Valley. And then, not quite as good as that last play, but that Peterson guy takes over. He can run and he can catch. Watch what he does here. One-handed.
Nice.
He'll take it deep into Cobbler territory. And then on the very next play, guess who they're going to give the ball to?
Not much question about this.
Yeah, Peterson with the carry, and he will come again right into your living room. Nice dive for the pylon right there. All Brandon Valley. They take it 55-23.
Washington wins big at Mitchell, 45-7, that score. Again, there's your Roosevelt and OGorman scores. You already saw the highlights of those. Couple of close ones. Now the winning team's on the bottom. Didn't have time to move them around before I ran out here, but Watertown beat Brookings 14-13, and Douglas
big upset.
Knocked off Harrisburg 14-13. Pierre had no trouble. They win 43-0, and Rapid City Stevens blanking Aberdeen 14-0. Remember the Titans? Well, the T-area team ranked number 2 in the 11A poll this week. They went to Lennox to take on the Orioles. And their offensive lineman, Blake Enns, like the refrigerator, barrels in for the touchdown at 7-0. Then it's going to be Hunter West with a touchdown run. Titans go up 15-0 with a 2-point conversion. They're not done. Carter Slykehouse with a touchdown run, number 1, taking it all the way to the end zone. Beautiful run there, makes it 21-0 T, and they win it 34-7.
Dell Rapids and West Central, almost always a great game between these two 11A rivals and perennial powerhouses. We pick this one up in the second half, and it's Nick Bover picking up the touchdown run for the Warriors. We're out to a 14-0 lead early, and they extend that one as they go up 21-7. Now on the ensuing kickoff, you got to watch this return.
Cool. Yeah.
Devin Gary takes the reverse deep into Dell Rapids territory. Terrific blocking, just pushing his guys along. That's how you do it in this game. Just wrestling down by the belt line, and later in the drive, Gary finishes the drive with a touchdown of his own. The Trojans, however, trailing at this point by a score of 28-13, but Dell Rapids would drive the nail in the coffin on their next possession as they get the touchdown pass to Alex Kringen. And the Warriors get a big and impressive win, 35-14.
That's some great highlights out of that one. On to 11B, where we had a premier matchup between number 1 and number 3. And that's where we sent Jack Ebel for his final tearful contribution to Football Friday.
Thanks, Mark. There's no crying in football, but there's only one way to describe my grand finale. A whirlwind. The top-ranked Chargers of Sioux Falls Christian taking on Sioux Valley and Volga. That's Jacob Just throws. Look at that interception. There's Tyler Schwartz. He put on a show tonight. But about a 40-minute delay. Look at those clouds. Tornado sirens.
Wow.
That wasn't fun.
That'd be scary.
But this is pretty neat. This is the Schwartz show. 4th and 1. Breaks free, keeps those toes in bounds. He is in. Touchdown. Cossacks up 7-0 right after the delay. The ensuing kickoff. Big guy kicks off. Bounces around. There's Parker Nelson. He picks up. Makes a little...
I'm going to miss those.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can we record him?
Look out, buddy. He pushes his own guy out of the way, and he's gone. There goes Nelson. That's the ensuing kickoff. The 2-point conversion would be good. That would make it 8-7 Chargers. And the Schwartz show continues. Picking off people. This time, he's going to make a great catch for his own team.
Goodness.
There he is. Good stuff. He helps the Cossacks. They hand Sioux Falls Christian their first loss of the season. Cossacks win 21-14.
Thank you, Jack. On to Minnesota football, where powerful Marshall made the trip to Worthington tonight. It was well worth their trip. There's Jefferson Lee, the 5th. He scores some 15 yards out. It's 7-0 in favor of the Tigers. Later in the quarter, Marshall driving again. Trey Lance, who accounted for 4 touchdowns, takes it in from 11 yards out, and it's 14-0. Keep in mind, Marshall has now outscored 3 opponents 184-0. There's Lee with a touchdown again. That averages out to 61-0 each week. Lance again is going to throw here. He throws to Nick Claith. He catches a touchdown pass. Claith had over 100 yards receiving tonight. And there's Claith again. 35-0. It was 56-0 your final.
Patriots of Hills-Beaver Creek are off to a great start, but playing with heavy hearts tonight after the serious injury to Trenton Bass last week. You can see it everywhere. Decals on the helmet. And credit to the team they were playing. Red Rock Central, they also wore a 28 helmet decal on the back of their helmets. And Red Rock Central was playing pretty good. That's sacked by Nathan Knutson on 4th down in the 3rd quarter. They're up 28-12. You see those Trenton strong jerseys, this team fighting for Trenton. And they start to get back in at Jared Schropper to Jax Wysong down inside the 1-yard line. And that sets up Gavin Wysong for a short touchdown run, made it 28-20. That's as close as Hills-Beaver Creek could get, though. They fall by that score.
And again, Trenton Bass, you are in our prayers daily. All right, back to South Dakota in the top team in 9B. The Hawks of Colman Egan hosting Estelline tonight. First play. Brody Gross pulls it down, and Brody is gone. That's a touchdown for the Hawks. They jump out early. Next Colman Egan possession. It's Brody Gross.
It's actually Bodie.
Bodie Gross to a wide open Cade Gross. It's 14-0 in favor of the Hawks.
The Cousins are on a roll.
Hawks keep it on the ground this time. Keith Crisp takes it in for the score. And as you can tell, things are going pretty well for the home team. And how about some defense? They can do that too. Cade Gross with a pick. That's a touchdown. Your final 47-13.
Wow. Finally, maybe the game of the night in 9A, unbeaten second-ranked Howard Tigers were at Irene Wakanda tonight. They were trailing by 8 late in the 3rd quarter when Michael Hofer runs it in for a touchdown. And suddenly it's 28-26. They would go for 2. They go back to Hofer, who ties things up at 28 apiece. This game was a classic, and this guy had a humongous night. Trey King actually started the game with a 96-yard touchdown. Here's another long touchdown. He had a hand in every one of their scores, and Irene Wakanda
great game.
Pulls out a classic 42-36. Again, King a hand in every one of their touchdowns.
Colman Egan again wins at 47-13. It was the Gross show. Marshall now has outscored opponents, as I said, 184-0 in 3 games. Nobody wants to play them anymore.
Okay.
Hills-Beaver Creek, a tough night for them, a tough week for them. Again, Trenton Bass, you're in our prayers. Sioux Valley rallies to beat Sioux Falls Christian in the game of the night. Del Rapids 35-14. T-Area and Madison wins big, number 1 in 11A, I should say. MOC Floyd Valley and Sioux Center both win tonight, along with Spencer and West Sioux. Western Christian wins. Dawson Boyd wins big. They're really good again this year. Westbrook, Walnut Grove, and Garrettson victorious. DeSmet and North Border win along with West Lyon. They're still undefeated. For Jay Rosaboom having a great year again. Hamlin 41-0. Bonham and Avon both win tonight along with Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan 49-3. Canastota Freeman beat Viborg Hurley 38-33 in a dandy. Canton wins big. Falcon with 50 tonight. Gregory 52-zip. Groton beats Chamberlain 17-7. MCM having a nice year as well. They're in the rankings this week. They win 54-zip. Millbank over Roncalli, Parkston, Waverly, South Shore, and Wolsey Westonton were all winners tonight.
Didn't see this one on the board. Sully Buttes defeats Warner 24-18, number 1 team, and 9A goes down along with the number 2 team, Howard.
And that's it for Football Friday. Zach has more sports right after this.